Hello and welcome to the United Stand. How are you all doing? Jose Mourinho apparently has a secret signing to make this summer, and without further ado, I have a different theory on this. I also want to talk about a few things: Man City's dominance and what that means for the Premier League, Martial starting tomorrow, Mkhitaryan the flop, De Gea snubbing a contract, and it is Saturday night, so that means it is Q&A time for you, interaction with the live comments. But let's start off. Jose Mourinho has a secret signing this summer. Harry Maguire from Leicester. Don't worry, it's not me, this isn't from me. I mean, Harry Maguire from Leicester is apparently the player that Manchester United and Manchester City are going to battle each other for next. £50 million, Harry Maguire from Leicester, centre-back. Go home, get your coat now. Look, 24 years of age, he hasn't done bad for Leicester, but I mean, this is not a player. I don't think we need, if we're going to sign a centre-back, it's got to be top quality centre-back, because we've got 6 good centre-backs. We've got Lindelof, we've got Jones, we've got Smalling, we've got Rojo, we've got Twansibi, and then we've got Bailly if he can stay fit, who is top class. So unless we're going to buy a top class centre-back to play with Bailly, it's not Harry Maguire, and let Man City spend the money on that one is what I say, because he is just not the sort of player we want. However, for a little bit of a positive to boost the negative feelings you're going to feel about Harry Maguire, because he is just 6'4" Phil Jones. There's nothing brilliant about him. I do believe there is a secret signing this summer, and I do believe that it is Paulo Dybala. Now, we've heard a few things, not massive, not like definitely going to happen or anything like that. But I just think when from the things we've heard, and when you start to put the, add things up, I think Manchester United and Dybala is realistic this summer. When you look at, I really only think Barcelona and Real Madrid, potentially Man City, are the club that he would go to. However, agent Pogba, he's got that relationship, and there has been tentative sort of comments between them over the last few months. Manchester United, Juventus have mentioned Dybala, and Manchester United. Dybala has said that, he's not totally committed to Juventus, although he's happy at the moment. And Manchester United, even Ed Woodward this week, when he's talking about Alexis Sanchez and the signing, he's talking in a way that's very, we've got so many retweets, we've got so many followers, so many people have bought the shirt with the name on the back. It's like positivity about what a big signing can do. And United will make a big summer signing. And is Mourinho's, I'm only going to sign midfielders, big summer signings? Well, Milankovic-Savic would be probably about £80 million, but it's not marquee. I don't see a midfielder out there that's going to make the rest of the world go, wow, what a marquee signing from United, which seems to be something Woodward craves. It seems to be something that United like to do each summer. And Milankovic-Savic, Fabinho, Jorginho, they're not, however much they cost, they won't be marquee signings. They're not going to be, oh, I'm going to go and buy their shirts for the vast majority of the United support, and it won't get the rest of the footballing world sitting up jealous. I think as United fans, if we did just buy Milankovic-Savic and Fabinho, I'd be very happy, because it's like it would strengthen our midfield, and it doesn't always have to be a sensational marquee signing as far as I'm concerned. But I do believe we'll make one, and I do believe it will be Dybala. And because I think United do need that sort of player. So that's what I think will happen with that. And interestingly enough, I did a watch along today on That's Football, the Arsenal-Spurs game. I'm doing one on Tuesday night, Spurs versus Juventus. So if you want to watch it with me on That's Football on Tuesday night, a bit of a scout of Dybala as well, you're more than welcome to join me for that. But I do think it will be Dybala, I do. Talking of which, I do want to start taking some of your comments, because it is Saturday night comment night, but I have got a few topics I want to talk about as well. Fredney says Eriksen from Spurs would be ideal. Good crossing, throughout pass and long balls. He's the key to Lukaku scoring more goals. I watched that game today. I would love, I didn't realise he's 30 and he's 31 in the summer, but I would love Moussa Dembele from there. I think him and Pogba with Matic behind, we'd dominate. We would dominate that league. It would be such a good midfield. Dembele is sort of like Pogba. I think I've been really disrespectful to Dembele, and I think he is underrated. And I think even I've always said I like him. Every time we play Spurs, I'm always fearful of when Dembele plays, because even when he was at Fulham, he's dominated our midfield. He's really good at dribbling with the ball, but he's really fast and tenacious. But I never think about him. And I think he's underrated in football in general for that reason. He was superb today. And if you had Pogba and him next to each other, both able to drive forward with the ball, both very good on the ball, with Matic protecting them, that would be the perfect midfield three. It's not going to happen because he's 31 in the summer, but maybe it should have happened a few years ago. He is brilliant, and he's the player I would take. Ward Prowse says Throbidelki. Well, he'll be going to his first team, won't he? Liverpool. That's where that will have. Ragul says, "Where's the video you told that you would put out today?" I took it down. I'll explain that in a bit. Dembele bossed Pogba too, says Pratik. He's brilliant. And Pochettino massively improved Dembele, as good as he always was. He has improved a lot, says Andrew K. And Dembele is incredible. He's getting a lot of love. Let's talk about Mkhitaryan, actually. That was one of the topics. Especially Football says Mkhitaryan was awful today. I've got two trains of thought about this. Please do drop a like on the video, everyone, and please do share it. It is Q&A Saturday, so I want to get as many questions going, and that's a good one. Don't know whether anybody watched the game at lunchtime. Mkhitaryan, for me, is a player, and I hope Lynn isn't here, because I know she likes him, and I know a lot of you do, but Mkhitaryan is a player that I wanted to leave Manchester United. It was obvious that he'd come to the end of the road, and I do like him. I've got nothing against him, but he'd come to the end of the road. Obviously, last week against Everton, he got 3 assists, and everyone was, there's so many Arsenal things out on social media. We've got the better deal, Sanchez for Aubameyang and Mkhitaryan. What did Manchester United fans say? It might work out. If it does work out, we're not going to lose any sleep over it because he's a nice bloke. But at home against Everton, where they're sitting back, opposed to playing somebody decent, I think you're going to see the real Mkhitaryan in this league. And I watched that game, and all I would say about Mkhitaryan is very similar to Manchester United. When I think of Anfield away, Chelsea away, and some of the games he played at home this season, I just saw the same Mkhitaryan. And maybe he just needs to get used to the Arsenal system. But what I've always said about Mkhitaryan is when he's got space, he's a good player. But when he hasn't, and I saw it a few times against Spurs today, when he gets the ball and then there's a tackle coming in within a second, he tends to get knocked off the ball. That happened a lot today. Trippier down that right-hand side just killed him. He doesn't know how to defend in this league. Neither does Ozil, to be fair. And I just think physically he struggles with the Premier League. It's not his fault. We saw it with Kagawa as well. I don't think he is going to be this. He's only been at Arsenal 2 games. He's already had a bad game and been subbed off. Now, it's hard, but he's already starting to show that form that he had at United. I think in the certain games where they have a lot of possession, he'll do well. I don't think he's a left winger. I don't think we have many Arsenal fans watching, but I think we collectively as United fans don't really have anything against Mkhitaryan. I felt it was right for us to sell him, but if they want a little bit of advice, he's not a winger. He's certainly not a left winger. I know he played there in the Europa League final, he scored, but I thought he was pretty poor in that first half. He's not a winger, he's a number 10. I always said that. He's a number 10, but is he good enough to be a top 6 number 10 in the Premier League? That's the question, but that's his best position. But Aubameyang, Ozil, Mkhitaryan were kept very quiet via a very good Spurs side. I mean, Spurs have played us, Liverpool and Arsenal and took 7 points. That is very good. If we had Spurs, Arsenal and Liverpool and we were offered 7 points, we'd take it. They are a threat. That top 4 is a threat. I think they are if we win tomorrow, they'll still be about 5-6 points behind us. So any slippage is an issue for us. So it's a straight race, isn't it? City have won tonight. They've beaten Leicester, I think 4 or 5-1. So the title's been gone. It's been gone since before Christmas. But the battle for 2nd, 3rd and 4th between ourselves, Liverpool, Chelsea and Spurs is on. The Premier League, when you look at the bottom of the Premier League, there's about 8 teams that could go down with about 3 points separating. And then when you look at the race for the top 4, it's very, very tight as well. It's just a shame, and I'll bring this point in now, that it's a shame that I... just got to put someone... Oh, he's been done. Well done, Brevy boy. Well done to the mods. It's a shame that... Look, what I would say about Man City is you can't lie when you see them beating teams like Leicester 4 or 5-1 and what they've done this season. They are worthy winners of this title. No doubt at all. No problem with it at all. Well, I do have a problem with it, actually. The problem is that I think the Premier League should hang their head in shame. I think it's a disgrace what's happened. Aguero was bought by Man City for 38 million in 2011. In today's market, with the inflation in prices, that's probably equivalent of about 120 million. How the hell were Man City spending 120 million pounds on a player in 2011? How the hell do they get an injury to a centre-back and they just go and spend 60 million? And they wanted to spend another 60 on Riyad Mahrez. They are a club that just opens up a checkbook and buys players. Now, whether you like that or not, is by the by. Man City are worthy title winners. I'm not saying they're not. They definitely are. It's painful to say that. They are worthy title winners. They are best team in the league by a long, long way. But are they moral title winners? Are they worthy of it morally? No, of course they're not. Manchester City don't generate money. They don't even fill their own ground. They haven't got much support. They are an oil-rich club with owners who 30, 20, 10 years ago had no idea who Man City were. In fact, they wanted to buy Villa or Everton. It was because of the Commonwealth Stadium that they went and got Man City. It could have been Everton. It could have been Villa. It didn't matter to them. They wanted a play toy to go and push their money in and dominate football. Sort of, you know, at the end of the day, at the moment, the Premier League is the owner of Manchester City's play toy. And it will be for years to come. They will just buy. And Manchester United can't live with that because we're a business. We're run by business people who want to make money. We have got the money, but they don't want to do it like that. Arsenal can't do it. Liverpool can't do it. Chelsea, I think Abramovich is bored of doing it. So nobody's got the wealth to go against City. We have, but we haven't got the owners who really want to do it properly. So I just think Man City probably, as Rooney said the other night, probably, if they just keep buying like they probably will in the summer, I could see Griezmann going to them, potentially Dybala. They'll definitely buy and add to what is already a dominant team. I can see them dominating this league for 3 or 4 years. We're in danger of having the German league where Bayern Munich are just dominant and you will get the odd result from Dortmund, but I can see that happening in the Premier League, who forever say, oh, we've got the best brand in the world. We won't for long. You know, this worldwide infatuation with the Premier League, it won't last when one team is just dominating the league, and that's what we're going at. And I'm sure a lot of City fans, well, there's not a lot of City fans, but I'm sure City fans would say, oh, you're just being salty. Well, I suppose there is an element of saltiness. Yeah, I suppose there is an element of bitterness, but actually there is a moral issue here that it's just, I used to get bored of, well, bored's the wrong word, but we did dominate it. We won 3 Premier League titles in a row, and you knew we were going to win the league. And to be honest, the best rivalry we ever had and the best titles we ever won were the ones against Arsenal, because it was proper rivalry. The Chelsea one was more about a team that was bought, and the same with Blackburn Rovers, but the Arsenal one just felt a bit more real. And I think that's where we're going. I think Man City could dominate this league for a long time, and I think the Premier League have got a lot to answer for, because they've just got a massive advantage over everybody else that they just go buy. Centre-back's injured in January, 60 million. And I think he's bought 19 players in 18 months. It's a myth that Manchester United have spent anywhere near. We certainly haven't bought that volume of players in. If he doesn't like a goalkeeper like Joe Hart, the England goalkeeper, he gets rid of him. Then he brings another goalkeeper in, Navas. Oh, I don't like him, gets rid of him. Then he gets Ederson in. Pep can just try, change. You can't knock him. I mean, I don't really rate Pep Guardiola. I don't think he's been tested at all. I think everywhere he's been, he's had world-class players and an open checkbook. But you can't really knock him for, like I say, it's FIFA on easy mode. It's not difficult what he's done. In fact, I think he failed last year. They should have won it last year. But it's worrying. It's worrying as a Manchester United fan, because we've had a good season. I think any other season we would be challenging for the title. But we're what, 13, 16 points behind? It just shows you Manchester City are making a mockery of the Premier League. Nobody's interested in what City are doing. All January, the press were talking about Arsenal, United, even Liverpool. The press really don't have a lot to say about Man City. They love Pep Guardiola. They live up his backside. But it's not a club that generates any interest. Their players are mundane. Their manager is mundane. Their club is mundane. There's no glamour about it. There's no sensationalism about Manchester City. If this was Arsenal or this was Manchester United running away with the league, every paper would have a story every day about them, because they are clubs that generate interest. Man City are Murray band. They don't create any interest, and they are dominating this league, and they're probably going to break the all-time points record and everything, but nobody's actually that interested. It's boring, and that's what's going to happen if they do it next year and the year after. It's a shame. It's a shame. And people say, oh, you wouldn't be moaning if it was Manchester United. To be honest with you, I think I would. I don't get much satisfaction out of it being easy. The best titles, when you look back on it, the best titles Manchester United have won, obviously 99, but all the other years where it's been tight. The ones where you just run away with it and you've got it won by April, I'm not up for that. Share for more quality. Wonderful channel with the greatest community, says ha 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 banter. Thanks for that, pal. We might not win the league for years, says Oasis Times. We've got the right man in charge, but it's going to be difficult. And I think that's why there's always an underlying bit of frustration with United fans, because obviously it's not nice to see it. Druv Asher says, Man City are the best team in the league, but we can't deny the fact that we have gifted it to them after playing them at Old Trafford. Leicester, Burnley and Southampton, we threw away 6 points. Well, we did, but what I would say to that is you're almost asking us to be flawless. And what team is flawless in this league? You know, City won every single game, didn't they, up until, was it Palace where they drew and then they lost to Liverpool? But they've actually dropped less than 10 points in the season so far. And that's not losing games, that's drawing games. You know, if you draw a game, you drop 2 points. It's relentless juggernaut football from Man City. You can't deal with that. It doesn't matter how good you are, unless Mourinho or Wenger, well not Wenger, but you know, unless Mourinho or another manager, maybe Pochettino, is given a total checkbook, go and spend what you want, because that's what they're up against. It's very difficult. And no matter what myths people want to lie, Mourinho, Van Gaal, Sir Alex Ferguson have never had open checkbooks at Manchester United. We've spent big every now and again, but we've never had the open checkbook that Manchester City have, and no other club has either, so it's very difficult. Who is the secretary transfer target, says Yorkie. Well, we did it at the start. The press are trying to say it's Harry Maguire from Leicester. I believe it's Dybala, and I'll stand by that. Matthew McFadden says, after this stream, go watch Napoli v Lazio and BT Sport 1. I was very close to doing a watch along on that, Matthew, but obviously the United Stand 8 o'clock show comes first. Let's take some of your questions. Have you seen Milankovic-Savic, Mark? He's amazing. Well, you can go and watch him after this if you want. Napoli against, who was it? Lazio. And Jorginho's probably playing as well. Just wait till Chong and Angel are in the first team setup every week, says Friend 2008. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Jose will want to challenge Pep next season, says Devil Red 7. I think he wanted to challenge. Well, he did. He wanted to challenge him this year. The fact that Mourinho's staying, hopefully he will respond and do something this summer, because he can't. If he doesn't change this squad massively, then and good question there, Sally, because it leads into another topic I wanted to discuss. If he doesn't change. If he doesn't do big things in the summer, Mourinho, then we won't close the gap, because Man City will improve and they've already got a massive gap. So it's simple, isn't it? It's a simple mathematical equation that if we don't improve and Man City do, the gap's going to get bigger. I do have slight concerns, and I think tomorrow, funnily enough, join us for the Newcastle game tomorrow. The watch along will start. Is it 2:30 kickoff? So we'll be live at 1:30 with the team news, and I think that team news tomorrow is very symbolic of where Manchester United are going for the rest of this season, but also next season. If Anthony Martial doesn't start tomorrow, then I've got massive concerns about this United team. And it's similar to if he... Well, it's not an if. Mourinho wants Fellaini to sign a new contract. Now, if Fellaini's part of the plan to close the gap between Manchester City, we may as well just hand them the Premier League title at the start of August, because if Fellaini signs a new contract, he will play a lot of games. If Fellaini plays a lot of games, we're not going to close the gap on anybody. We'll be battling for fourth. He's just not a player you win a title with. If Martial doesn't start tomorrow, then we're not picking our best player. We're not picking our or best top 3 players. I think he's our best player, but I suppose with Sanchez and Pogba, he's the top 3 players that we have. They have to play in a game like this against Newcastle, where Mourinho's never won before. There's no excuse not to play him tomorrow. I expect him to start. I expect Martial to start tomorrow. Some people don't. If he doesn't start tomorrow, I think we've got a problem. This lad has been Player of the Year, Player of the Month 3 times this season. He's been flawless most of the season. He's been our most consistent player. If he doesn't start tomorrow, you know, Mourinho needs to tell everyone, well, he doesn't need to, but there's clearly an issue there. There's clearly an issue, and I don't really understand what it is, but we'll see on that tomorrow. Geron, I do think we're going to sign Paulo Dybala from Juventus. Yes, that's my tip on the secret signing. I have heard a couple of things. They're not on the scale of what I heard about Sanchez, and obviously we did the video on that and we were right. I'm not going to do a video saying we're signing Dybala, because I don't think the information is that strong. But there are little drips of information that's out there publicly that we know about Dybala. So I think it's Dybala. I do. I think Mourinho's saying we're not signing an attacker, as I said a couple of weeks ago. Maybe he believes that at the moment, maybe he doesn't, but he's certainly not going to announce that he is signing an attacker when we've still got 4 months of the season to go. It's a letdown that Spurs aren't challenging for the title with a team that has Alderweireld, Vertonghen, Wanyama, Dembele, Eriksen and Kane. Now, who made that comment? It's a good one. John Sherrell. Well, I remember, as a lot of you probably do, that we were neck and neck with Spurs not too far off City around September, October time. And Spurs just had an awful November. They had an Arsenal November. But Spurs are a very, very good side, but they just dipped in form at the wrong time. How do you trust a manager who signs Lukaku with funds, says Ibrahim Duradala? Well, come on, let's be a little bit fair about that. Chelsea bought Morata. He's not been as good as Lukaku. Lacazette, formerly known as the French Defoe, he's now the French and Charlie Austin. I'm sorry, Charlie, but you know what I mean. That chance for Lacazette, Arsenal should have got a point. They didn't deserve a point, but they should have got a point. It was a pass into the bottom corner because Lloris couldn't get down quick enough. He should have scored, he missed it. So Arsenal spent a lot of money on Lacazette. Chelsea spent a lot of money on Morata. We spent a lot of money on Lukaku, and Lukaku has been better than all of those. He may not suit your style. His first touch is poor. He's not that intelligent when it comes to the build-up play, but he has scored a lot of goals for United, and I certainly don't think you can call him a flop. Personally, I think Lukaku's going to improve, and I think next season is the season that will really make or break Lukaku's career at Manchester United. I expect him to improve next year, and he's done well this year. He's done well. He's not been superb, but he's done well. JC Carpet, the ideal summer. Dybala, Alderweireld, Savic. Mark, City will soon have too many first-team players. They'll get angry and leave, says Jake Bullman. Lukaku is not a United standard striker, says John Morris. And out of the three top-class strikers coming to the Premier League, Morata, Lukaku and Lacazette, only Lukaku survives. That's from Jay Hart. Spurs did deserve to win, Adam T. They should have been 3 or 4-0 up, but Arsenal should have got a point at the end. It was a sitter. Spurs to win the league next season, says Marty. I don't think so. I've said this about Spurs a lot. I do like Spurs, but they just seem to... They should have won the league that Leicester won it. They should have won it last year. And they always sort of bridesmaid, but never the bride. Can we do a show on the best United kits? I'll write that down. I wouldn't mind doing a top 5 of that, United kits. Yeah, we'll do one. We'll do one. Mark, any news on De Gea? So, Mario French. There's contracting. I wish. There's contrasting stories about De Gea. There's one that he's fearful of staying at Manchester United, and this is to do with if he doesn't sign a new contract, he's fearful that Mourinho will start playing Romero. So he wants to go to Madrid in the summer because De Gea apparently doesn't want to sign a new contract at the moment, which means he'll start to run it down. United will react by saying either sign a new contract or we won't play you. And De Gea's concerned about that because Van Gaal did it to him. If you remember that start to that season, he dropped him for Romero. So there's that story, but then there's another story which is also based on something that's very true. That Real Madrid may well go for Courtois from Chelsea, who has publicly said that his heart's in Madrid. So it's what Real Madrid want, really, isn't it? And it's what De Gea want, and it's what discussions are going on. George Mendes, who is the agent for Mourinho and De Gea, has done diddly squat for United since Mourinho came in. I did a video when we got Mourinho as manager, top 5 players, whose agent is Mendes, and I expected us to sign at least 2. We've signed none. So Mendes may be looking to get De Gea out. Apparently Mendes doesn't like United that much because of the fax machine, and the collapsing of the De Gea deal cost him a lot of money, but that's all paper talk. De Gea could go this summer. I've been saying this for the last 2 or 3 summers since that fax machine. I've said last year I actually thought he was going to go, and we kept him, which was great. Donnarumma is still available, and he is a client of Mini Raiola, so Donnarumma could be an interesting one. But if Real Madrid get Courtois from Chelsea, then that solves a lot of problems for us, doesn't it? I want De Gea to stay. He's the best goalkeeper in the world, isn't he? Without question. And if you've got a goalkeeper like that, it solves a lot of problems. It's only when you lose a top class keeper, like when we lost Schmeichel and Van der Sar, you realise how good those players actually are. And he is a very, very good player. I've gone quiet here because yes, I thought so. I wanted to get this accurately correct. We've got a super chat here from Sabatashi Banajaya who says, if Herrera finds form, do we need Savic? I don't think Herrera's going to find form. That's the problem. Arjun says Talisca from Besiktas would win us something. I wasn't a fan of his last summer, and I'm still not. I'm not convinced that a player who's doing well in the Turkish league and has done okay in the Portuguese league can do it in the Premier League. Let's be honest, the Turkish league and the Portuguese league is championship standard in relation to English football. So I don't think I'd be very excited about that deal either. Fabinho's agent is George Mendes, by the way, so that would be the first one if we ever did it, and it's probably a reason we won't do it. We are going to start doing the rambles with Robbie Warren's store. They will be back next month. It's a couple of weeks away, so the weather will improve and we will be doing more of those. We've nearly got 2,000 people watching, so please do drop a like. Let's see if we can get 500 likes while we're live. Apparently Mourinho is annoyed at Isco, which is interesting. Let's take some of your questions. Come on. 20-time champion says he's never been a fan of Herrera. I do like Herrera. I mean, he was player of the year last year, and I really like Herrera, but he ain't been very good this year, and I just think that his head's been turned. I think he wanted to go to Barcelona in the summer, but his form has been really poor. However, I remember a few years ago at Atletico Bilbao, the season we nearly bought him and it fell through. He had a really bad season up until around February, and then he finished the season really strongly. So maybe that will happen with Herrera. Jay Hart, don't rip off other leagues, Mark. Ronaldo came from the Portuguese league. Yeah, but no, I'm not going to retract that. The Portuguese league is poor, the French league is poor, the German league is poor. They are not very strong leagues, and the standard in there is not very good. But that doesn't mean players from that league can't come and be successful. But in general, those leagues are not very competitive. If you stuck the best team from Portugal in the Premier League, they'd be battling for relegation. And the French league, yeah, PSG and Bayern Munich, take them out of the equation. But the vast majority of them, they're not very good leagues. It doesn't mean you can't buy someone from there and then be good. But I'm not impressed by Talisca. Maybe I'm wrong. I've been wrong on things. You know, if you think differently, don't lose any sleep about it. We need to sign Fabinho. Hopefully helps the relationships with Mendes, says Andrew K. Would love to see McTominay get a good run of games. Was really impressed with him against Huddersfield. Jake Warner says, I'm not going to comment on McTominay. I don't think he's good enough, but we'll see. Jamie says, I'm from Newcastle. I'm off to the game tomorrow. Come on United. Expect a big performance. Remember, Jose Mourinho has never won in the Premier League against Newcastle. I think we'll win tomorrow. Herrera should be sold, says Tyrone Williams. Yadman TV. Ronaldo was miles ahead of that league, though. Tyrone Williams thinks the Bundesliga is decent. I don't really. I really don't think it's that good beyond Bayern Munich. I think it's quite a poor league. And I think we see that with a lot of the players that come over from Germany to the Premier League. They struggle. Herrera is suffering mentally with his match-fixing allegations, says Wilf. And Talisca is a case of a player's agent trying everything to get him a move, says Man Utd. Yeah, he's a bit like Gaetan, isn't he? Mark, everyone wants to know why you took the video down, Brevy Boy. Okay, I'll answer that right. Okay, so I did a video this morning. I feel terrible about this. I really, genuinely do feel terrible about it. I did a video this morning and I will redo it. I just took it down because it was a top 5 youth players video. But obviously, last night we heard late last night that Liam Miller, former Manchester United player, had died at 36. And I did a video this morning and I mentioned it in the video. And I wrongly, stupidly said he was a player from the youth setup, but he wasn't. He was signed from Celtic. Now, I don't apologise for it because it's nothing like really bad, but the reason I took the video down is because so many people were commenting about it in the comments. I was like, look, obviously I've made that mistake, I accept that, but this is a video about a top 5 youth players, and also Liam Miller died last night, so I don't want... It's an irrelevant. Well, it's not irrelevant. It's not, the comment's not irrelevant, but I didn't like the fact that there was so many comments talking about he wasn't a youth player. The lad died last night, so us talking about whether he was a youth player or he signed from Celtic, there was just so many people commenting it and saying this, this, and this, and I had pinned it at the top, but it just didn't feel right to keep having comments about somebody who, you know, at the end of the day, it was my mistake. And we'll redo the video at a different time, but it was just lots of people were commenting on about it, and I just started to feel a bit uncomfortable that this guy died yesterday and people are just going on about, oh, we didn't sign for the youth setup. It was my mistake. I should have researched it. I normally research everything, but I actually was so confident that he had come through the youth setup, and it was only when somebody did comment on the video and I thought, I still wasn't convinced, and I went and checked it, and we did. We signed him from Celtic. It wasn't from the youth setup, and I think it was, I don't know why, just stupid. It was a stupid mistake by myself. I should have known that. But like I say, if I'm not sure about something, I'll normally research it. And I was very confident that he'd come through the youth setup, so I was wrong. And I think maybe I was not mixing him up, but I just think he was around the sort of time as people. I think Higginbotham was maybe around that time, Bardsley maybe. And I just had this in my head, Kieran Richardson. I thought they'd all sort of come through the youth setup, and I got it wrong. So I took it down because this poor lad died last night, and it just was, I'd say it was getting on my nerves a little bit that people just kept going on about that, and they were losing sight of the fact that, does it really matter whether he came through the youth setup or whether we signed him? He died last night. That was the whole point. So I just took it down because I got fed up with that. So that was why. But I will do the video again of the top fives because I stand by what I said. Andrew K says, rest in peace Liam Miller, honest mistake, we have had many Northern Irish through the academy. Yes, and we should have get Fabinho, Marquinhos and Dybala. I get rid of Darmian, Blind and Fellaini, says Jordan O'Brien. I would love to see Blind, Fellaini and Dybala. Well, that's not nice actually. I would like to see Blind, Darmian and Fellaini go because it would be 3 spots in the squad that we could get better players in. And I think, like Mkhitaryan, all 3 of them need to move on now. Castle Aos says McTominay not good enough for United. Very ordinary player. Who's the top secret transfer, says Alex Bibava. Just watch the start of the video. Harry Maguire, according to the press, I think it's Dybala. Apparently Sir Alex Ferguson has told Mourinho to pick McTominay more. Well, Sir Alex Ferguson is the greatest manager in sports history. I'm not going to say, and none of you should say either, that your opinion on football is better than his. However, what I would say about Sir Alex Ferguson is he, not every player that he bought or brought through was a success. Kieran Richardson, as I just said then, wasn't good enough, came through the youth system. He played him. Jemba, Cleberson. So, he also said get David Moyes as manager. So just because Sir Alex Ferguson says something doesn't mean it's right. I hope McTominay is a good player, by the way. He must do something because Mourinho really likes him. I hope he does turn out to be a good player, but at the moment I just don't see it. MC Juju Lups makes a very good point. He says you can't judge him at the moment. Shrey United, if we want to challenge for the title, we've got to let go of the Deadwood. Sabatashi, Banerjee, didn't you say you used to like Daley Blind? I'm not being disrespectful to that comment there at all, but I don't like that sort of comment because it's like if you say something that you're stuck with it forever. I imagine when Daley Blind signed, I was very excited about it. Darmian, I liked Darmian when we first signed him, and I did actually think he was quite good for the first 6 weeks. And then I think Van Gaal inexplicably dropped him and his confidence seemed to suffer. I thought Paddy McNair had everything in his locker to be a really good player. But then Van Gaal took him off in 2 games after half an hour and destroyed his confidence. I mean, what's happened to Paddy McNair now? I know we sold him to, I think it was Sunderland, but he had the potential to be a really good youth player. I thought he had everything in him. It just goes to show you that a bad game or a bad run of confidence can ruin it. So I'm sure I probably did say I like Daley Blind. I definitely remember saying at some point that I liked Daley Blind at left back because everyone used to say, oh, his lack of pace, but his positional sense and his ability off his left foot. I liked Daley Blind at left back, but I just think Daley Blind is a Deadwood player, and Deadwood doesn't mean they're bad. It's just he's not really going to get even on the bench. So move him off and get somebody who can challenge to be in the first team. That's my theory with Blind. I don't see Blind's not going to be a centre back for us because Rojo, Jones are better. Is he going to be our left back? Well, Young and Shaw are better. He's not a midfielder. So what is the, whether you like Daley Blind or not, actually, if we're really blunt and harsh, what does he offer us? Unless we had a really big injury crisis, like we did at the end of last season, because remember, it was him and who played centre-back with Blind in the Europa League final? Was it Smalling? So he certainly helped us out in that last month. But I think we've got more squad. Low fat, Dybala's ex-manager said he would suit City style rather than United. That's a bit like saying, well, I'm not going to say that, it's rude, but I mean, any attacking footballer in world football is going to suit City's style more than ours. And I'm not blowing wind up City's arse. We haven't got a style. That's why I did the video 2 days ago about United's style this season. We've had 4, and what our style will be for the rest of the season, and then what our style should be in the summer. And most of us feel we need to go to a 4-3-3 with 3 midfielders and no number 10. So, of course, Dybala suits Man City's system better than ours because we haven't got one. We haven't got an identity at the moment. We're still building towards that. Man City, you know what their system is. It's pretty much the same system Pep Guardiola's always used. So, if you are an attacker, of course Man City looks better on paper because they have an identity. They have a way of playing. And United don't at the moment. And the prime example of that is Paul Pogba. Paul Pogba plays well in some games, in others he doesn't. In some games he's playing in one position, in another he's playing in another. And I think Paul Pogba is indicative and a real symbol of United's identity problem in the way we play. We don't really have a style of play at the moment, and we need one. As I said, Pogba identifies that perfectly because he's moved around all over the place. We need to get a bit of fluidity and rigidness to our style of play. And rigidness, I don't mean boring football. I mean the way we play is the way we play. Closet City fan, says Gungshi. I think we all know that's not the truth. 5 players we need to extradite from the squad, Mark, says Paul Robinson. Oh, he always chucks difficult questions. 5. Well, we won't get rid of 5. I'll say that straight away. But 3, definitely. Darmian, Blind, Fellaini. If I had to get rid of another 2, and I'm going to say that I have to answer your question, Paul. So, Blind, Darmian, Fellaini. And I would get rid of Ashley Young. I know that people won't like that, but age-wise, and also I think every position that Ashley Young plays, we've got somebody better, whether it's at left back, right wing, left wing. So I'd get rid of Ashley Young. He's on a lot of money. And the 5th one I would get rid of, I think you'd have to get rid of a centre back. I would move on Phil Jones. I'd take the opportunity to get rid of him because he's always going to cost you a goal. He's cost us 3 goals this season, and I still think he's a bit injury prone, although he's been much improved this year. But neither Young or Jones are going to go. But if I had to get rid of 5, they would be the 2 that would go. Special One says United should have an identity by now. Mourinho and Pep started the same in their respected club. Yes and no. Where Guardiola started from at City was way ahead of where Mourinho started at United. That City team and a lot of those players have won a title quite recently, and they already had 3 world-class players there. He already had De Bruyne there. He already had Aguero there. He already had David Silva there, and amongst other players. Then he's gone and bought 19 other players. So they already had a team that was doing well. Maybe underachieving, but doing well. I think when Mourinho comes into Manchester United, even the most optimistic fan would never have said this squad is a title-winning squad. This squad is full of players that are world class. No, we weren't. So, but yes, maybe we should have an identity 18 months later. But he was starting from a different situation. If we can't get Dybala or Griezmann, would you be happy to get James Rodriguez or James Rodriguez? Says Mahamoud. He's got a wonderful left foot. I probably would. Why wouldn't you take a player of that quality? I probably would, yeah. Why Skits makes a good point. He says, even Sir Alex Ferguson was telling Mourinho to pick McTominay more at the Memorial in Old Trafford. If they see the potential that we don't and he succeeds, then that's great. And that's pretty much my theory on McTominay. I think there's something to him. Because why would Sir Alex Ferguson say that? Why would Mourinho pick McTominay as the one player he's going to really develop this year over Twansibi, who to me is obviously going to be a star of the future, yet he's on loan at Villa. And McTominay's the one getting all the games. All I'd say about McTominay is, if you're asking me, based on what I've seen him, is he going to be a Manchester United player of the future? Definitely not. I don't get it. I don't get it. I'm not saying he's rubbish. I just don't see anything that he's really good at. He's just okay at everything. But there must be something. And that's the exciting thing. There must be something. Because Mourinho is backing him. Sir Alex Ferguson is backing him. And they see him in training week in, week out. So there must be something there. that's going to make him kick on. But I'm always honest, and I know a lot of you are as well. And I won't take the L, and I won't bloody be called an idiot for it if in 2 years' time he's one of the best midfielders in the Premier League, because I'll say, come on, let's not lie about it. Let's look back 2 years. In 2 years' time, nobody knew he was going to be like that. And at the moment, he's either not going to make it, or we haven't seen why he's going to make it. And that's what I'd say about McTominay. And I hope it's the latter. I really do, because a youth player coming through, especially one nobody really ever thought would come through, would be great. And I hope the one thing that's not good about McTominay is the fact that he's over 6 foot, because that is the only thing that I know Mourinho would like. Is McTominay Scottish, says Ronaldo Fenomenino. I don't know, you know, because you never hear about him being called up for, I think he might be English, but you never hear about him being called up for any of like the under-21s. So, and I think he is 21 now, or maybe he's 20. McTominay needs a loan, says Andrew K. Liam Richards says Mourinho needs to get under Pep's skin like he did to Klopp and Conte. But we're not close enough, are we? I think Mourinho would, but he's never been close enough to Pep. You can't get under somebody's skin, and you certainly can't start trying to undermine them. And I'm sure he's got loads of ammunition on Guardiola, but you can't do that when you're 16 points or 13 points behind them. You make yourself look an idiot, and the press won't have it. They'll just make you look an idiot for it. Doing it against Conte when you're close is fine, and the press will play one against the other. But until we're close to City, he won't bother wasting his energy on trying to have a go at Pep. He'll just be submissive and respectful, and that's the way he should be, because he'll get undermined. He's Scottish, says Matthew McFadden, like your favourite mod, George. Oh, Matthew, sorry. Hope we give youth a chance as we stand United. Look, the youth at United is very exciting. It's very exciting. Whether it's Fosu Mensah, who played again for Palace today, whether it's Pereira, whether it's Twansibi, McTominay, Rashford, or whether it's the new batch, Tahith Chong, Gomez. I mean, Traore, the lad we got from PSG, who's 17, is amazing. And he has been playing for the under-23s at 17, and he's only just 17. So, but there's a lot of players. There's a lot of players in the youth. Too many. They won't all make it, but there's so many that could, and that's the exciting thing. The onus is on Mourinho. He cannot say, I'm only developing one a year, because we've got too many. He can't say that. I know he said that this year, but it can't be next year is one, because that means that over 5 years you can only bring through 5 youth players, and we've got way more than that who can do it. So he's got to be a little bit more open to it. I think we should go for Mahrez, says Kesley Ali. Oh, if it was Mahrez or nobody, fair enough, but I was never really mad on Mahrez. McTominay is like Fletcher. I disagree. Is anybody old enough to remember Darren Fletcher? I don't think they're anything like each other. Darren Fletcher was always quite fast in the tackle, good on the ball, good dribbler. I don't see any connection between Fletcher and McTominay at all. And I remember Fletcher coming on the scene as well. Apart from they're Scottish, if that's confirmed, I think Fletcher and McTominay are nothing like each other. McTominay could be like Fletcher. Maybe that's what Mourinho and Sir Alex see. But he hasn't been playing like that yet. Amantha Krishnan says, first season take United to the UEFA Champions League, second season eliminate Conte, season 3 eliminate Pep. I think that probably is the list that Mourinho has. Short memory, Mark, fans hated Fletcher. No, you're right. I mean, I probably bore everybody going down nostalgia lane, but Darren Fletcher was probably a player I was very unsure of. But then if you remember that, was it the Champions League semi-final where he got that dodgy yellow card, then he couldn't play in the final? I think it was 2009, maybe. I think it was the Rome final, yeah. And he was one of our best players then. He was brilliant. He was really good. He was a bit of a divider, and then he just suddenly was one of the best midfielders in the league, in Europe. He was bloody brilliant, and he missed out on the Champions League final against Barcelona because of a dodgy ref who gave a penalty and a yellow card, and I think it was actually a brilliant tackle. So Fletcher was very good, very good. Dembele from Spurs, AJ Correa. Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. Anyway, I'm going to get off because it's Saturday night and I don't want to take up all of your Saturday night. We've got a big game tomorrow against Newcastle. We'll be live. I'm sure the kickoff is 2:30. Just somebody confirm it to me. I'm sure the kickoff is 2:30. So we'll be live at 1:30 with the team news, and then evening Rodney, and we'll be live with the team news at 1:30 all the way through till full time. Then we'll have the call-in, which we do after every show now, where you can call in through Skype and have your say on the game, hopefully your 3 points. Then we'll have the fan cams, and then tomorrow night we'll be live at Sunday night at 8 o'clock. I think we've got Sophie with me, and probably not Flex because he's in Newcastle, so we'll have to get a different guest on. But lots of shows tomorrow, so get involved with that. Thanks for everybody who's hit the like button tonight. We've gone past 500, so keep liking. Let's see if we can get close to 1,000. I really enjoy the Saturday night show. I really do enjoy it. I like the interaction with the live comments, because I know we do the Skype shows on a Monday and after the matches now, but the live comments is the lifeblood of the show, so it's nice just to interact with you. So thanks everybody. It's a 2:15 kickoff, so we'll be live at 1:15 tomorrow. Thanks for everybody that. Paul Robinson says it'll be 3-0. I think it'll be 2-0 because I do. Thanks everyone for watching. Speak to you all soon. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Road to 200,000. Keep spreading the word. Bottom right hand corner to subscribe, and I shall see you all tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday night, and big game tomorrow. I'm excited. It seems a long time since we played, doesn't it? What with all the Munich stuff, which obviously was you know, memorable and took a lot out of all of us. It does seem a long time since we played that game against Huddersfield a week ago today. So it'd be nice to see United play. Champions League's not far away as well. FA Cup next week. So games are starting to come through again. Thanks for watching. Speak to you all tomorrow. Big game. 1:15 we'll be live. See you soon.